In his autobiography, Benjamin Franklin wrote, "In 1736, I lost one of my sons, a fine boy of 4 years old, by the smallpox taken in the common way. I long regretted bitterly, and still regret, that I had not given it to him by inoculation. This I mention for the sake of parents who omit that operation, on the supposition that they should never forgive themselves if a child died under it. My example showing that the regret may be the same either way, and that therefore the safer should be chosen." Childhood immunizations have been recommended by the Center for Disease Control for over half a century. Childhood vaccines prevent the spread of potentially fatal diseases. All healthy children should be vaccinated against infectious diseases to prevent the spread of disease, and as Benjamin Franklin's family tragically experienced many years ago, death. According to the History of Vaccines website, inoculations were first documented in 10th century China, where dried smallpox scabs were pulverized and blown into the nostrils. The Mayo Clinic describes smallpox as a contagious, disfiguring, and often fatal disease that has affected humans for over 1,000 years. In later years, it became more common to inoculate by scratching active sores from an infected person into the skin of the person seeking immunity. In 1796, Edward Jenner made a startling discovery when he noticed that milkmaids who were infected by cowpox never contracted smallpox. He proved the milder and therefore safer form of cowpox was an effective vaccine against smallpox by first inoculating a small boy with an active cowpox sore, and then several weeks later the matter from an active smallpox sore. From Jenner's first discovery, interest in infectious diseases grew. Throughout the years, scientists were able to isolate bacterium from several infectious diseases, but the push to find vaccines did not start until the 1930s. Over the course of the next 50 years, vaccines were developed for polio, measles, mumps, rubella, tetanus, rotavirus, HIV, diphtheria, pertussis, and rubella. Due to the smallpox vaccination efforts, the disease was officially declared eradicated in 1980. By the 1980-1981 school year, all 50 states required school children to be immunized before entering school. According to the CDC, 95% of school-aged children are vaccinated against common infectious diseases. One might ask, what about the other 5%? Most unimmunized children are the result of a strong and growing opposition to childhood immunizations. Reasons for opposition include religious, safety concerns, and eradication. Religious opposition is unfounded, as mainstream religions do not oppose vaccinations. In 1978, the first presidency stated, "We urge members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to protect their children through immunization. Failure to act could subject untold thousands to preventable lifelong physical or mental impairment, including paralysis, blindness, deafness, heart damage, and mental retardation. Immunization campaigns in the United States and other nations, if successful, will end much needless suffering and erase the potential threat of epidemics. Such efforts are deserving of our full support." Others oppose vaccinations due to safety concerns. Dr. Andrew Wakefield released a study in 1998 linking autism to trace amounts of mercury used in manufacturing the MMR vaccine. However, in 2011, it was discovered Dr. Wakefield falsified the study data and as a result lost his medical credentials. CNN reported, "The study shows that of the 12 cases Wakefield examined in his paper, 5 showed developmental problems before receiving the MMR vaccine, and 3 never had autism." Unfortunately, the damage was already done, and countless parents refused vaccinations for their children due to autism fears. Another area of opposition is the belief that specific vaccines can be discontinued because of eradication. The only vaccine the CDC no longer recommends is smallpox because the disease was eradicated worldwide. In 2002, the CDC declared measles eradicated in the US. However, in 2014, measles reemerged in the US with over 600 cases reported. The main cause of the outbreak was decreased participation in childhood vaccinations. Although they were eradicated in the US, the CDC still recommended the measles vaccine due to it being prevalent in other areas in the world. Vaccines.gov states 5 important reasons to vaccinate your child. The first is vaccines save lives. Infectious diseases are preventable when vaccines are administered to everyone healthy enough to receive them. Second, vaccines are safe and effective. In a report titled Vaccination Mandates by Kevin Malone and Alan Hinman, serious side effects occur in approximately 1 in 2.5 million doses of distributed vaccine. Minor side effects include fever, swelling, and rash, which can be treated by over-the-counter pain and fever-relieving medicine. Third, vaccinations protect others from contracting disease. By vaccinating your children, you are creating herd immunity, which protects others who cannot be safely immunized. In order for herd immunity to be effective, there needs to be a 90% vaccination rate. Fourth, vaccinations save time and money for lost work due to illness. 25 years ago, my husband contracted meningitis. At the time, the meningitis vaccine was not available. He was in the hospital for a week, followed by a lengthy recovery. He did not have insurance, and the company he worked for at the time did not cover paid sick leave. By the time he was fully recovered, he owed thousands in medical bills. Finally, vaccines protect future generations. The vaccines.gov states vaccines have reduced and in some cases eliminated many of the diseases that killed or severely disabled people just a few generations ago. From the time Jenner discovered the link between cowpox and smallpox, approximately 9 generations passed. How many more generations need to pass before other common infectious diseases will be considered eradicated? The CDC recognizes several health reasons that necessitate avoiding childhood immunizations, including allergies, autoimmune disease, cancer, HIV, AIDS, and the age of a child. However, if your child is healthy, vaccinations are necessary to protect the life of your child and the lives of others. I would like to conclude with the story of baby Elliot. Elliot and his family are members of my ward. Several months ago, Elliot contracted pertussis from coming in contact with an unvaccinated child who carried the disease. At the time, he was too young to have received the necessary vaccinations to prevent pertussis. Elliot then spread the infectious bacteria to his mother. Due to her compromised immune system, the pertussis bacteria almost killed her. This potential tragedy could have been avoided by simply following the recommended vaccination schedule for healthy children. The choice is yours. However, choosing to reject vaccinations for your child has farther-reaching effects than you realize. Vaccinations save lives, your children, your community, and throughout the world.